Okay, so issue, I was within the formatting of the content to show. I had a forgotten about trailing comma, and so with that in there, if I come back in and refresh my page and I go to my inspect and I see this as empty, it is because of that trailing comma, which came about because when I was adjusting the JSON here, I was removing values that came afterward and forgot to remove the comma. So that alerts me to a need to improve the plugin error alerts and functioning on the conversion. Currently, the plugin does have error reporting, but that error reporting of modification error and the modification error message is tied into the modification of items workflow action. It's not tied into the conversion action of the plugin itself here and the plugin element. So that's a nice area for me to add in some improved functionality and user experience, because it can be quite frustrating if you're not very familiar with JSON structure to have just a very simple comma causing something to break and not be alerted to it. So that would be an area for me to improve. So now, if I am going to explain the differences here, let's get this repeating group and put it next to the other one, and let's get these to be grouped side by side, row. Okay. So what do we got? We got the repeating group there, and then this repeating group is going to be taking the list from DB, value list. Okay. And here we are going to be showcasing these things. All right, so if we now come in and preview this, all right, we'll see that we've got the same IDs across most of these elements, because in this particular instance here, this got saved into the DB as it was. These are coming out of the database. These are still being generated dynamically on the conversion action. So once you get it into your database, the ID will stay as is, even if you are providing it with some information that is indicating you want it to create the unique identifiers for any that are empty. But to be able to make use of this approach optimally within your applications, to be able to use it everywhere, you do want to make sure that when you are saving these objects into your bubble database, that you are saving them with a unique ID, because all sorts of other functionality does exist to make use of it. Now, as a little side note there, you might not really need the ID, the unique ID. You just need some key value that is a unique identifier, because most of the functions and actions within the plugin do allow you to designate a key as the unique identifier. Sort of similar to how Bubble gives us our unique ID and Slug, both of those could be unique identifiers. What the Data Jedi plugin does allow you to do is kind of create a different key value pair that could be another unique identifier if you chose to. All right, so in this, we have now demonstrated how it is that we get the data structure set up, how do we create the values and save them into the database, and in here demonstrating how do we basically retrieve them from the database and put them into the converter or the Data Jedi element for the purposes of display. And so in some other videos, we are now going to demonstrate the differences between the workload unit costs and performance of being able to retrieve and fetch from the database data that is in this sort of Data Jedi approach comparative to the legacy approach of just do a search for a thing and return me the fields.